Hey everyone, we finally did it. We made some sales as part of Grail Quest. In this video, I'm going to run through a recent batch of sales I made using PWCC's auction service. So if you're curious to see how much we made and what our profit margins were, stick around. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another episode of Grail Quest. I know it's been a while since we've had any Grail Quest updates, but the reality, as I mentioned on the last video, is that we have a number of cards at PSA, and we were waiting for a number of graded cards to be uploaded to PWCC and auctioned off and sold. So the good news is I do have a number of sales results to share with you today. So without further ado, let's jump into the sales review. So all of these I sold on PWCC, send them in, they upload them to one of the weekly auctions, and then they just get auctioned off. And depending on how high they sell, I get a certain cut. So the first one that sold is the 2007 Mundicromo Ronaldinho Security Vertical SGC 9. If you recall, this was a Pop 1, none higher. And our total cost, including grading, the cost of the raw card, and associated shipping, was $45.65. We actually ended up selling it for $98, and so we realized a profit of $52.35, or 115% on that investment. So pretty awesome return there. You know, like I mentioned, was happy to get the 9, thinking that we could maybe get a sale around $100, and that's basically right where we got it. So was super happy with that one. Next one is the 2003 Mundicromo Ronaldinho Fichas de la Liga SGC 9.5. This is a Pop 2 with none higher, and I believe there is one PSA 10. So this is one of like the highest graded one of these cards in existence. So I was very excited about that. Total cost was $74.53, but again, thought that this could go for, based on recent comps, in the 200s, maybe even 300. And we actually got $322 net on this sale for a total profit of $247.47, which is a 332% return on our investment in about a month. So pretty good there. Definitely the type. This is the type of investment or return on investment that we need in order to really kind of build our bankroll and start working towards, our Grail. This is exactly what we need for that. However, it's not all going to be sunshine and rainbows on this video. So the next one we have here is the 1965 Sicker-Verlag, the Fussball-Saison stamp, the Puskas stamp. When I bought this, just look at the total cost. So I bought this for like $34, graded it all in for a little over $70. My thought here was it got an SGC 3, which I think there's only one graded higher. So it's like Pop 2, one higher. It's an older sticker. It's not anywhere near his rookie. Not necessarily rare, I guess. I mean, there aren't many graded, but I think we have to make a distinction between scarcity and rarity. I thought that there would be, just at least based on some of the auctions that I've been taking part in, some of his stuff has been in relatively high demand. I thought the eye appeal of this was really great with the color. I just thought there was a chance that this could sell, in a 3, who knows. I thought maybe we could eke out a small profit, or at least get close to getting our money back. However, oh God, it's hard to look at. It sold for $29. Just really not enough demand here for this. And this is, I don't know if this is just the nature of an auction. There's just not being enough demand for this specific player or this specific set. It's possible that maybe this would have been a better candidate for a buy it now. Let someone who really likes this card make an offer, but then, obviously we're not turning around our money very fast. So just a lot of learnings to take from this one. You can see we're, big L, negative 42.60, 59%. Just a big L on this one. There's nothing much to say. I mean, I think that's okay though. I think the point of grading some of these cards and experimenting with some of the cards that we're experimenting with is to see what works and see what doesn't, and just not make the same mistakes twice. Obviously, the two Ronaldinhos, those worked out great. They graded well. There's clearly high demand there. This one, graded well for what type of item it is, but there's clearly just not demand for this type of item. This is later in his career. This isn't anywhere near his rookie. So, I think this is just a good example that just because something is, scarce in terms of it's how many are graded, that doesn't make it rare. And that's just a learning that we'll have to carry forward for the next one. So this one, the 2015 Neymar Panini Select Camo Prizm. This is the blue jersey variation. Got an SGC 9. I think when I graded this, I noticed there was a couple tiny flaws. I was hoping for a 9.5, but I figured even in a 9, we're talking, Neymar, popular player, Brazil being one of the favorites for the World Cup. He's in his Brazil jersey. I thought there was a lot going for this card. The out of 249 Camo Prizm, just a unique card that I thought people might be interested in buying ahead of the World Cup. It was like $31 plus all the grading and shipping. We're in it for about $68. And again, sold for $53. Just not quite the level of demand that we had hoped for. Lost $14.78, minus 22%. Just disappointing. I think a lot of times auctions are related to timing. It's possible that if we waited a little longer, maybe as hype built up for the World Cup, we could have had a better chance to at least break even or make a small profit. But I mean, this is just kind of the game. It's hard to time. It's hard to always time the market, and it's probably better to get that $53 back to put it into a new investment than it would be to hold this card waiting for the right time to then get, $70 back, for example. So I don't know. I think this is just part of the game. Sometimes they don't grade as high as you want, and sometimes the demand's just not quite there for the card. So the next one here is one that I'm just going to say I'm pretty disappointed with this. I think it's pretty clear based on some of the videos I've done that I think the Genesis Prizms are really awesome, really unique. If you look at old pop reports for other sports, they're pretty rare. They're not mass printed. They are a retail parallel, so maybe that kind of dings them a little bit in terms of the desirability. But this graded a 9.5. It was SGC Pop 1, none higher. Literally the first graded Salah to market. My hope was that we're in it for about $100, get it first to market. I think PWCC insured this for $200, which gave me a lot of hope. Like, okay, they're expecting this to go, at least near $200, which would be an amazing return for a $100 investment. And it just didn't, I mean, 92, we kind of broke even, down 10%. Again, similar to the Neymar, it's just kind of timing. It's a wash. Like, I'm not going to get too upset about a $10, like, breaking even versus losing $10. To me, it's kind of all the same in terms of this. The big disappointment is just that it's the only graded Genesis, and there's just no demand for it. And again, I think there's a couple things at play here. I think it's the Genesis being so new to market. Maybe there's not quite that demand yet. The market hasn't quite grasped the rarity. I think there's also an aspect of, and I hate to say this, but I wonder what this would have sold for even as a PSA 9. Granted, I wouldn't have it for a few more months, but the SGC slabs, it's like unless you're getting a 10, it's really tough to be making consistent profits. Unless, the exception is like we just saw the Ronaldinhos. And that's obviously a learning that I'll take forward is there's very clear demand for SGC cards for some of the pre-modern GOATs, some of the ultra-modern stuff. It's just real tough to make a profit in general, but anything that's really worthwhile without without getting that 10. And unfortunately, this is an example where the demand just wasn't there for this card, and not much you can do there. But yeah, happy to get out around what we put in. Not a huge loss, and we'll rinse and repeat, and we'll put this money to use with some other cards. And finally, we have the Mosaic Premier League Genesis Sadio Mane SGC 10. Again, first to market, Pop 1. I think PWCC insured this for about 100. So given that we were in it for 91, was kind of bummed, but figured, okay, small profit is better than nothing. And again, just, I wouldn't call this getting destroyed, but I think just given the grade and the card and the player, just disappointing. to not make money, or to kind of break even. Happy not to lose a ton like we did on the Puskas, and the Neymar was a little worse than this, but just disappointing. I think part of it is, it's Mane in a Liverpool kit, probably not as desirable as it would have been a few months ago, unfortunately. And back to the drawing board. I think maybe going forward, these Genesis and some of these other ultra modern type cards, I think I might just have to send them to PSA, but we'll see. I don't know. I'll do a deeper dive video on that at some point, but yeah, I just was kind of bummed to see where both the Mane and the Salah landed. But yeah, that's it so far for those 6 sales. We'll do a quick snapshot of our ledger next. So I'll see you soon.
Okay, let's take a look at our Grail Quest ledger updated for the sales we just went through. You can see we have our initial investment of $1,000. We've made $685 in purchases, about $300 of grading fees, $43 of shipping fees, and total sales of $721. Our current bankroll sits just shy of $700, and the most recent price for the Lionel Messi 2004 Mega Cracks 71 bis in a PSA 8, still the 58.80 PWC sale being the most recent comp. I do think that these prices are starting to level out a little bit because there was a BGS 8 that just sold for, I believe, around $4,500. And I think a BGS 8 is usually, you can kind of think about that more in line with like a PSA 7. So happy to see that we're starting to crawl closer, at least to in terms of our total bankroll. This only tells half the story because, like I said, we have a number of cards still out for grading. With that, we can kind of take a quick look over to the tracker. You can see all the cards here highlighted in green are the ones that we have at PSA. Those were the 6 sales that we had. And if we continue to scroll over, you can see the profit that we've obtained on each of those. If I look at a total profit, okay, you can't see it on the screen, but basically the total profit of those 6 sales is $225, pretty much aided by the $247 profit on the Ronaldinho 2003 Mundicromo SGC 9.5, with the other Ronaldinho SGC 9 pretty much offsetting all of the losses that we took on all of our other cards. Yeah, with that, we basically have, let's see, 4, 6, 7, 8, about 12 cards at PSA that we're waiting to get back. Keep in mind that each of those will have an associated grading fee. So that's a quick snapshot there. I will be back probably in the next week or so with another Grail Quest update, just to update you on some of the more recent pickups. And we'll probably also give some thoughts on just some of the learnings to date, bring you another update here in the next week or two on that. So thanks again for joining. Really appreciate it, and really excited to continue this journey with you all. Have a good one. Bye.